the
I'll
the
just say
biggest
they're the favorites to go and probably win the Super Bowl. Yeah, because after that game, I know it's just a quote unquote regular season game, but look, a win against the Eagles on the road in that fashion is not the same as winning in Seattle the week prior. It's not the same as winning against the Bucks. Like there's certain games circled on the schedule that makes you look at a team in a different light. And this one actually makes me look at the 49ers a different light. I always thought they're obviously playoff and serious Super Bowl contenders, but now it's like, well, goddamn, they might be the one. They might be them. They literally might be them. Like it's kind of hard to deny it now. Like, because you look at that game, it's like it's not like the Eagles played like a terrible game either. It looked more so like you're literally facing an opponent that's making you look terrible. Because Jalen Hurts didn't turn over the football, which I thought he was going to turn over twice. I said that last week,
Yeah,
and
we
sure enough,
talked
he
about
didn't.
that.
And it's not like they were sacking him like crazy. They just had.
And it's not like, I mean, they have elite wide receivers, but our corner, our defense stood up amazing against it. I'm gonna ask you about game balls for the defense later, but when we're talking about the Eagles, I think that is an important distinction. Like that's a really good team.
Yes.
Like I think because we just watched them just get dominated, you're like, oh, okay. But like throughout the year, right? There's always been these games where people have said, like, this is going to be the next real test. This is going to be the next real test. And I think what people kind of maybe have been meaning by that is like, when are we going to see the Niners go against competition that we think is like a formidable opponent, and we're going to see them kind of struggle against
where
them.
they might have to be a hole against, especially a good team. Can they handle it? And they literally said, we don't need to be in the hole because we're better. We're
better. That's what I was
going
to say. Like, what's interesting is they keep getting in these games with these people that you would think, okay, this is going to be a dogfight, and the 49ers are dominating. I also saw something like, when you look back to their 3-game kind of fluke lull, they were missing Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel. Any game that those guys have been in, sorry.
Because actually that was going to be a point to the same thing about like back to the MVP conversation. It's like, wait, during that 3-game losing streak, one of the driving factors of why they were losing was because there's no Trent Williams or no Deebo Samuel. But now all of a sudden that they're on this winning streak and they have them back and they just dominated the Eagles in a game that was led by Deebo Samuel. All we talk about is Brock Purdy. That's where I'm like, okay, wait. So when we're losing, it's Deebo Samuel. We don't have enough players. We don't have enough talent. And then once they're all there and we got to see everyone, that's why it's like crazy to me. So which is it? Do they really not have enough talent? Maybe we're not giving enough credit to Deebo Samuel, or it's like, so that's where I really push back on it. Like, let's stop looking at the numbers. Like, yeah, sure, you can have your MVP discussion because that's your quarterback, but that's what I thought of. I was like, so I can't prop up Deebo Samuel being the man and just say Purdy had a fine game. Like, that's the thing that kills me the most. It's like, wait, it was a 3-game losing streak where everyone was complaining about that. Now all of a sudden he's back and he has the best game of his season, career high in touchdowns. We're talking about Brock Purdy as an MVP. Like, what? Like, yeah, he was a part of a good win, but
if you want to kind of point that out, what was the main criticism from fans on that first quarter when the 49ers went 3-and-out twice in a row? It was Christian McCaffrey didn't touch the football, and it was like, come on, Kyle Shanahan, if you want to win, you got to get the ball to Christian McCaffrey. Well, it's like, okay, if this is your MVP level quarterback, then
that's what I'm saying. So I just hate the numbers so much.
When the 49ers come out passing like that.
That's why I just hate the numbers. And I think that's why Jalen Hurts was even though I didn't think he was deserving either, was the lead candidate for like the last several weeks. It's like, yeah, his numbers are okay, but like they're not MVP caliber. It's the eye test. And Purdy is passing it, but I think the numbers, we gotta like taper him down a little bit, like how much that means, especially in this offense, what he's doing. But yeah, so I mean, but ultimately, if he's MVP or not, it doesn't matter because I really think they are the favorites now to win the Super Bowl. Like the AFC, it's not going to be an AFC winner this year at all. I don't think so. Like the Chiefs are just really down bad right now in terms of their caliber. They're still a fearsome opponent. That's going to be a tough outing. But like other than them,
like they have no run game at all.
Who do you got? The Baltimore Ravens. You got the freaking the Eagle. I mean, you already know you can beat the Eagles now. You dog walk the Cowboys all the time. Who's really going to give you like a punch to the mouth that you're scared about? The Detroit Lions? I just saw them give up a 21-point lead to the Saints, and they barely had to win towards the end. So it's very hard unless something changes drastically in the next month, and that can happen because, football changes in a snap of a finger, injuries especially. But if we're taking this team right now, I think they're on a special momentum that's not going to be unstoppable. And I think you can credit that to the 3-game losing streak in the first place. Like, it might end up costing them the number 1 seed, which I'm not sure, because the Eagles are going to face now a very rested Cowboys team. But now it's like,
who would have thought we would be rooting for the Cowboys? Come on.
I already know some family members are going to be salty about that. They might still want the Cowboys to lose because they're that stubborn.
I bet my dad's like that. He's a pretty big Cowboy hater. Really quickly, Terradome, I saw in the chat, felt very strongly. There were so many explanation points that I felt like I needed to bring it up. Brock Purdy won 3.5 games and averaged 30 points per game last season without Deebo Samuel. Check the record.
Wait, is the MVP for last season or this year? I'm confused. That was last year. I don't care about last year. We're talking about this year. And guess what happened this year? They lost 3 games and he had 5 picks.
Brock Purdy has the 21st ranked offensive line in the National Football League. I really like
very average to mediocre. Yes, that's true.
Passion, because that is me. I am equally as passionate. When the 49ers came out on that first in that first quarter and sucked, I was like, go home. I'm not gonna watch anymore. You guys aren't in the same league. It's fine. So I respect Terradome's love for Brock Purdy.
I just think it's funny, like, just because I'm not saying he's like
talking about this season, and so far this season, Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel have been very important. Now, I don't think that makes Deebo Samuel the MVP. I just think he had a really good game last game. I think
it just shows how much of the core pieces these guys are to them.
But you know, has an offensive lineman literally ever won MVP? Like, that's not gonna happen.
No, come on.
Also, like, the MVP, when we're going back to that, I know we keep going back to that. It's such like a storybook award.
Exactly.
And Brock Purdy has an awesome story. So I could see him winning because of that.
It does, yeah, true. And I think that's also why Jalen Hurts was the lead too, because like, oh, look at him, he's saving the day towards the end, even though like he's the one that kind of put them in the hole for a good portion of those games and to begin with when they're coming back. But that's the thing. It's like not many people care about the start; they just care about what the finish was and how it looked. And he makes wild plays and they win, so that's why I kind of fueled it. So to me, I think this is like the same thing. Purdy is like, wow, they won on the road, dominated them, and look at his numbers. And it's like, look at his numbers, yeah, but let's reel it in. He's a good quarterback, but I just think it's funny. Like, just because I don't think he's the MVP leader or even like a heavy favorite at all, like top 3, that's like I'm saying he's bad. Like, who's saying he's bad? I'm trying to give credit to other people that clearly were the ones responsible for the win. It's just funny to me.
We did talk about this, Terradome.
Yeah,
also,
we talked about that before.
First and everything. Made an argument that Brock Purdy should be the MVP because of statistics, because of the way he's optimizing this offense, which is something that I've literally stolen from Jose, who has often said that he optimizes this 49ers team.
I think that's like the best compliment you can give to any quarterback or player in a game. Like, dude, he's the reason why he lifts them up. But everyone just wants to focus on me saying bad.
Do you know that song?
No,
isn't there like a commercial about that?
I don't know any of your songs you like.
You raise me up. Wait, I think that might be the dying dog commercial. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh, don't sing that song, Shane.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I want to side note you really quick. How many Super Bowls would Brock Purdy like? Do you think if Brock Purdy won 2 Super Bowls, people would think 3 Super Bowls, like for him to be in that Tom Brady, like how much?
I don't know about Tom Brady, but
not as good as Tom Brady, but just like when we're talking about storylines, it is like so impressive if you sit back.
If he just wins 1, I think that's enough for me to be like
best 7th round draft pick ever if he wins 1 Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, like people are gonna talk. He literally was a pick away from being an undrafted free agent. Like, he was a fringe undrafted free agent. That's insane. It's not like the 49ers actually like diehard studied him and thought he was going to the future. They literally stumbled upon him. It took 2 quarterbacks.
According to Tim Kawakami, did you remember this like a month ago when he came out and said that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch thought that Brock Purdy should have been they had like a 3rd or 4th round grade on him.
They thought that
the 3rd round grades don't mean shit because they just waived Ty Davis Price, by the way. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, who cares? Like, he was not doing it. He's a special teams player. If that, not even he was healthy scratches. I mean, it was gonna happen. He was
I
already
know, but it's a 3rd-round pick.
he was already a busted pick since last year.
And
I
they
think we all
didn't
knew
have
that.
any 1st-round picks, so like 3rd-round picks were a big deal.
That's all right. You got him. They got him back this year. But
Yeah, there we go.
back to those comments, it's always funny because they're not the only ones who always say that. It's like we had this grade on him, like that. And it's like, yeah, you say that, but you didn't draft him anywhere close to that. So shut up.
So
I just think they're having revisionist history and trying to control the narrative and be like, see, we knew. We always knew. Like, no, you didn't. Like 7th-round picks at that point, you're just sitting in bed, throwing darts on the wall and be like, screw it, we're going to pick that guy. Like, come on, dude. No one knows about these guys like that. Like, you guys are tripping. And it took you to get 2 quarterbacks to be out for the year to really for you guys to figure it out. So I don't believe they had like that much faith in him. It's clear they had enough because they waived Nate Sudfeld at the time, but like this whole like we knew it all the time. Like, no, you didn't. Stop.
Did you have those glow in the dark little star things that you could put on the ceiling of your bed when you were a kid? All right. Oh. Me neither. Never mind.
Okay, rich girl.
What's keeping the 49ers from winning the Super Bowl this year? If